Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Curry Stew. I am Richard DeSibo, and yes, doubles or nothing. And welcome to the first ever episode of our podcast. I know that you're going to really enjoy. Might catch some kicks too, but we giving our views on different topics that are fundamentally around the Chutney soca industry. So, welcome everyone. We're on my, are you on the top, bottom, left, right? Hey!
Big Daddy, and yes, definitely welcome to the first Chutney podcast. I've been calling it the realest Chutney podcast over the last couple of days in terms of how we want to promote the podcast. And when we say real, we are going to do something here that people have not done at all in the past. You know, there have been other podcasts which may have addressed Chutney and Chutney related topics, but we are doing it in our way, in the way that we feel that you need to hear it, in terms of, you know, all the aspects of Chutney music, the artists, performances. We're going to let you know as it is. And we are doing that because we feel that, you know, Chutney has gotten to a point now where it is really in need of some assistance. Then we would feel that we have done something, you know, very positive for Chutney music. And I think, Richard, you feel the same way, right?
Well, basically, I think we're just here to kind of give opinions. And one of the main reasons that we agreed on to do this was that people were coming up to us and letting us know what they liked, what they didn't like, what they want to see more of, what they don't want to see more of. And as people who are invested in the culture, we found it necessary that, and it would be fun, to come and just speak about some of the things that we notice. And also from our vantage points, because you, Big Daddy, you work on radio. I used to work on radio. I work more in the soca industry now. I work in education as well. So I have people telling me things from all sorts of different sides about the industry on a whole, but also on the Chutney soca industry as well. So wanted to let you all know what people say to us and, you know, how we feel about it. So it's just really our opinions. It's also something that I will just say from off the bat. You know, we'd actually encourage you all to start your own conversations as we are doing now. The more that we have, the better, because you'll be in people's faces more, you'll have more content, and you'll have something to offer. But from us, we are going to try to be as positive and as helpful as possible, because we don't want to see any negative around us, at least, you know?
Yeah.
So we're just going to try to add some positivity to the conversation and just have really nice conversations from the get-go and right through.
And there's a lot happening in Chutney that we can have multiple conversations on a very regular basis.
Right, no problem. Okay, so let's hit the ground running, right? So, one of the first points that I've come up with here now, and that I've seen so many times on the socials, the point of leaving space for the younger artists, as well as the not so popular artists. You could be young and be very popular, but you could also be young in the industry and not be as popular or relevant. So the argument is from many people that leave room for the younger artists to try to win the money and win the title. Right? So I'll throw the question out to you, Big Daddy. You let me know your feelings about it and anything around that. How you feel about that? Do you think that that is a true statement, or do we need to dig deeper?
Well, I feel that every time I hear that, I kind of shake my head and laugh because, you know, in so many sectors or so many different industries around the world, sports and, you know, different entertainment industries, we've seen people say similar things, maybe not to the extent that we do in Trinidad, but every time it is said, I notice that if these legends and these veterans step away for a little while, you find there's a drop in the level, so to speak, you know, in terms of the output, the skill level, the way that things are approached at a professional level. And then as soon as, you know, one of these guys come back into it, it just raises the bar again. So are we saying that just let, you know, any and anybody enter and, you know, forget about the legends, forget about the veterans, and it doesn't matter if we have that drop that we always see in terms of, you know, what they deliver on stage, I mean, in terms of the entertainment side, on stage and performances, that kind of thing. We always see, you know, it seems to be that 80-90% of the time you see a drop, right? And I can't agree with that. I can't agree with, oh, Marshall shouldn't be there, or Ricky Jai shouldn't be there, or this one shouldn't be there. I mean, again, if you use the reference of sports, imagine if Michael Jordan didn't come back. Imagine people like, Tom Brady in NFL, who they call the GOAT of the NFL, right? And there are others in other fields as well, too. They all set themselves way, way, way apart from the rest of the field. They set the standard. They make sure that we know what is the best, what is really the best, what is the greatest, right? And I would feel like I am deprived of seeing something really, really good and really outstanding if these people are not, part of the shows in the range where they still could add value, add a lot to the shows, add a lot to the whole industry. So it really is baffled me. Yeah, he shouldn't be there. He too will give somebody a chance. For what? For us to be mediocre? For us to have the mediocrity coming into play over and over, and then people saying, oh God, what kind of show is that? Or what kind of performance is that? We don't want that. We want the best of everything. If you see, sometime in sports, you see like Jordan left, right? A year and a half or so, they were doing horribly. That's the Bulls, right? Brady left the Patriots. Where are the Patriots now? Yeah, they're not close to where they were before. So these individual superstars, megastars, icons, they actually bring so much even to the team sports that you feel like you need to have them as long as possible in that particular game, in that particular league, whatever it applies to. But don't tell me about Marshall at 50 being past his prime and he shouldn't be there, he too old. Give someone else a chance. We saw what happened to the Soca Monarch in terms of certain performances, or in general, if you want to look at the performances and what happened to the show. It's a good thing now that they're reviving it, bringing it back in a different form.
Okay, so let's introduce something else into the fray now. Money. Right? Who has more money to dump in and invest and make sure that they give like the super utmost best presentation on the night? On the final night now, sometimes you see certain artists with all of these things and they have fireworks, and fireworks is expensive as well. And it could also boil down to money when it comes to a presentation.
Right.
So what is this show in the first place? It's a competition, right?
Right.
It's a competition. It will have its own rules. I'm not here to question them or anything. But my thing is that if you have, it could be either a big song or not a big song. If you mix the elements right, be it your presentation, what is on stage, does it need to be there? Is it going to help you? Or are you just going to say that, okay, instead of 10 dancers, I have 40 dancers. And then instead of 2 Mokojambis, I have 10 Mokojambis. And everybody's in the crowd and they're throwing out t-shirts and all of this kind of business. Is that really going to make a difference? And the thing is, the answer that I could give you is, I don't know. Right? Do you really think that is going to help you? Now, my thing is that artists should pay attention to their product, which is their live performance. It's not even the song that they're singing so much. It's how you present your song.
Right. Yeah.
If you come up with a really good, convincing performance for that song and you sell what it is, because people love storytelling in music, you're going to get a reaction, right? So I think that anybody could say, hey, whether it be I'm a young artist, I'm new at this, or maybe I'm experienced, but I'm not as experienced or as big an artist as Marshall Montano. I think that you should just still go out brave and do your thing.
Of course.
Okay, think about this. Chutney Soca Monarch or any monarch is not just for that industry alone. It's not just for people who are involved in the industry.
Right.
Now, when Marshall Montano comes into this Chutney Soca Monarch, he's literally bringing all his fans, all the people that follow him on social media, everybody that loves his music. They're going to want to know how he does. Whether he wins, whether he doesn't, they are interested in it. So whether they don't watch the show and then they go to read the papers in the morning or what have you, they want to know.
And many of them, as we've discussed off air, so to speak, right? Many of them, have been fans of his in other genres, in other markets, don't know anything about Chutney. So they're getting to know about Chutney now. I know you've said this in the past as well. Yes. It's bringing a whole different audience. It's bringing a whole different viewership, so to speak. And that's good. That's really, really good for the industry.
Which comes to my feeling about that now is that I think people are focusing on the wrong thing, which is the money. You will get rewarded if you put out a good presentation, or that's how it's supposed to work, right? It's a competition, so you get rewarded for your presentation and how you do your thing and whatever the judges judge on, right? That's how it's supposed to work. But then people on the soca side will ask me, what is going on the Chutney soca side? Where's the latest bacchanal? Who's the best-looking female singer you have now? Who's the best band?
You're trying to put it across very diplomatically, but I know exactly what you're saying. I know what you mean. Go ahead.
Everybody asks, right? All of those things and more. And I'm like, well, okay, this is what's happening now, this one. But then now I have to say, okay, yes, but, this one had a rant on, this one had a couple days old, or a couple days rant on Facebook, and this and that and whatever and stuff, because that's the reality. Speaking again about the fans of these artists, just imagine what could be brought to the table now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fans of soca music, right? Because don't think that everybody in soca listens to Chutney. But you may have a lot of people who listen to Chutney might be listening to soca.
Yep.
It's a little different, and we could go a little deeper into that in future episodes, but that's a reality. The other point that I was leading to is that should we leave it to the younger artists? People will say yes because they're thinking about the money that you'll win. But then what you going to do with that money afterwards? You could pay off your debt. You could buy a car. You could buy new threads. Cool. All right. Nice. But where does that take you as an artist? Are you a real artist? Are you invested in your craft beyond this? That's where the difference is made.
I mean, again, we'll draw a reference again. Look at dancehall music. Who is the king of the dancehall? I mean, I know recently there's been a debate between two fellas, but really and truly, it's Vybz Kartel. We all know Vybz Kartel is the man. He was in jail for so many years, still running things, still churning out hits, still leading the pack, so to speak. Come out now, one of the biggest concerts. People still love him. People still follow him. He sets the standard. I mean, could you imagine a dancehall world right now without Vybz Kartel? I mean, we saw what happened to dancehall in the last 3-4 years, right? With certain people becoming more prominent, certain type of lyrics, certain types of delivery, certain ways of doing things. And a lot of people fell off dancehall. A lot of people who love dancehall music kind of stepped back a little bit because it wasn't the way that they knew it to be. It wasn't the polished yet still grassroots, down to the ground kind of dancehall that would appeal to a wider cross section. And it started to turn the industry a little bit. And I'm personally happy that Vybz Kartel is out and doing his thing and, showing the way that still, again, at someone who's close to 50 years old could be one of the people who push the industry, who guide the industry, and who sets the standard. I mean, there's so many examples out there that I had to just cut across a little bit.
All right. So, I think we're done with that point, right?
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah. Because we're talking real long now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's keep it short. Let's keep it tight, right? Who benefits from Marshall Montano's inclusion in the Chutney Soca Monarch competition on the whole? Who benefits from this? What could you say about it?
Well, I think, the entire industry is benefiting from this. I mean, from people who love Chutney music to those that have gone away from Chutney music who may be coming back. Everybody now is going to have to step up their game. Everybody's will have to go to a different level, right? So the benefit is far and wide. And if he wasn't there, you would see a different type of show, a different type of, output within the industry. You'll find a different type of, viewership again. You find everything at a different level. I'm not going to say that it will be really, really bad, but it will be at a different level.
So you're saying that everybody, if they were given an A game before, they need to give their A+ game
Yep,
now.
yep, exactly. They had to
Because
do
with the inclusion of
plus.
certain veterans, people who haven't been in the competition for a while, coming back in now, they are going to bring their A game because we've seen their A game before. So everybody now has to bring their A game. I think everybody is really, really and truly going all guns out and making sure they do their absolute best. And I'm very, very excited to see what people are going to do. And one thing that I want people to pay attention to, for the artists, pay attention to your voice, because that's what people are going to hear. Think about this. It's my observation that when you listen, let's say this is going to be broadcast on radio, let's say if you're hearing this, right? Or if the video is on and you're not looking at it and you could be having dinner or, I don't know, play with your child or some kind of thing, right? And you hear some of these artists, they are literally only, I'm saying some and not all. Sometimes an artist would, and even the really good ones too, they will be like, you know, come on, right? Okay, so what do you expect of another competition? Let's say The Voice or something else where you need to have talent for these things. Please approach it seriously. Pay attention to your voice, because that is your gift, or that's what you're telling us your gift is.
Yeah.
Or maybe your gift is to jump around the stage. Okay, great. But is that going to win you any
That's
points?
the first thing that jumps at people and reacts, makes people react in terms of positive or negative, and they hear exactly how you said it.
Right.
Sometimes it's like, oh, what is that?
Yeah. So this is one of the points that we could give to people. If you pay attention to your voice and you realize that you could sing some of the lines of your song, not saying only some, right? But there are certain lines in your song that you could use in the share, if you have one. You could actually max that out and prove one time that you could sing. So then for the rest of the performances now, or rest of the performance, not performances, the rest of the performance, you have that chance now to sell your performance, because you would have already sold your ability.
Right.
So
Yep.
if at the start now you could do the
I see the key.
where it is. I see it over there, right?
Oh, yeah.
it over there, so, right?
Yeah.
So if you could do your ICD key real good, right? Then people will already just put in their minds, hey, this man or this woman could real sing, boy, right? And that's a big thing. You win right there, points one time, down in the book, right? And then the rest of your performance, you could just go down and sell more, a mixture of your performance and your vocal ability.
You're right.
Not to say, da, 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 and then you sing a part and it's like, all right, everybody from them, you know.
If you're ugly and you know it,
Stay quiet. So some people get vexed because you say that.
well, that's their business. Imagine 20-something years we in this industry, and from the get-go to now, if you're ugly and you know it, stay quiet.
Well,
Come
so
on, now,
people
man.
say, put your hand in the air.
Yeah, but put your hand in the air is something that you want a response, right? But you're getting a generic, nice, across the board, positive kind of, a response that is part of the whole process and presentation. Well, what is if you're ugly and you know it, stay quiet?
Because that is actually a melody. So put your hand in the air is not a melody. It's just something that you tell people.
Right, exactly.
Right, so there are different ways to say it. I say lève les mains, which in French means, put your hands up. Right? So that is just saying something. But now, if you're ugly, anyway, we're talking about this too long. Anyway, right? So who gains from this? Everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, everything. The competition, the fans. But now, you have to make yourself be worthy of whatever attention comes your way after that now. You have to say, hey, I deserve to be here because of this, and you need to prove it. Not just say, yes, well, I went to this school, and I studied this, and I sing with Sundar Popo, and he tell me, hey, you're a good singer, you're singing real good, boy. He probably, well, of course, he don't talk bad, but, prove it. let us enjoy what you have to offer. If you could real wine and thing, you go ahead and wine them. Right? If there are certain things you could say and sing and stuff like that, you go ahead and say, but put your best foot forward. Do not think that you're lost from the get-go, or you don't have a chance, or you don't have a space because this one enter, or whatever. No. Give your best show that you could give. That's my advice to you. So who wins? Everybody wins.
Yep.
Right?
It's true.
It's not all just about money. It's about who you are and what you put forward there.
On point.
Right.
And just one quick thing.
Yeah.
Even somebody like Ricky Jai, who has done it 9 times, won 9 times. I mean, personally, I had a conversation.
Your hand looking real big in that camera anyway.
Right. So personally, I had a conversation with him recently over the last couple of days. And, he was telling me, if you think I just come in there to make up numbers, I bring in it. He said, I bring in it on that night, People expect, again, the whole Marshall thing came up and everything. But he said, I bring in it. I want to win that competition and I come in full blaze, full out. You understand? So you could just imagine, that's another artist who's going to bring the A+++ game. And we know he has that A++ game in the Chutney.
He understands it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. There are a few of them also that feel that, well, since Marshall is there and Ricky is back and a couple others, that they're just going to do whatever they can and hope for the best.
Yeah. Now this brings me to another point. So you see this cup I have on here?
Yeah.
If we could read, we know what it says, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, the reason I'm wearing this is basically so that I just want to show you that this is what they have. We want Chutney Soca, or Chutney on the whole, to have stuff like this that we could be proud to wear and promote and invest in. So if you have a clothing brand, or if you sell, I don't know, whatever you have, you could make towels and engrave on it. So engrave on a towel, right? Embroider something. Something. Let us have something where we could show that we're proud of the brand. Right? Where we could say, hey, I like Chutney music. Because I know that some artists would have their merch. I'll say merch, which is short for merchandise, right?
Merchandise.
So you might have your towel, you might have your t-shirts, pants, socks, shoes, whatever, right? Engine oil, I don't know, right?
Engine oil.
Let us have something as fans of the music, the art form, and the culture that we could be proud of, that we could wear, that we could use, that we could hold and say, hey, I'm proud of this. Because wherever I go, I always have a Trini flag with me, right? And every couple shows, I end up having to give it to people because wherever I travel and I go, people say, oh, I really like this flag. Could I get this flag? I was like, yeah, sure, no problem.
Okay, take it.
Because that person and the person who are affiliated and associated with them could say, hey, this person from here gave me this flag and I feel so happy about it. Cool. That's because I want to give you my twin islands, which is Trinidad and Tobago. So I also got this. My brain, yes, but on top of the brain, I have some here and then I have this, right?
Yeah.
I want us to have something that we could wear and we could use and we could show people that we're proud about it. So whoever's invested in clothing, anything of the sort, let's have something that we could, have to show for it. And you could end up making some money and have a profitable business.
You want to know? What's the reality, the sad reality behind
what's the sad reality?
What you just spoke about in our industry on the Chutney side?
What's that?
And I know you might say soca has it to an extent, but of course, the unity factor, right? Chutney soca is a very, I don't know, industry that has a lot of backbiting going on, right? Okay. A lot of to and fro, who like who don't like who are against who fighting who is enemy with who. Always the bacchanal. I mean, I feel like it's one of the industries, one of the genres out there with the most amount of bacchanal, and it's like very like the unity is at such an all-time low that you don't want to endorse anybody else within the industry. You don't come out publicly and say, well, this one good or that one good, or he has a good song or she has a good song. They are doing well. At least, again, on the soca side, you see a lot of people, whether it is just for show or whatever, fine, come out and embrace one another and that kind of thing. But on the Chutney side, it's a lot of bad mind, a lot of hate, and people don't, they don't endorse one another, and to come together to push the brand of Chutney as it is, as an entire brand. I mean, I feel we are very far away from doing that. Seriously.
Well, it's not for the artist to do it, It's like for an individual. It could be like any brand. Anybody who has their own brand could say, Chutney's the Chan in my bar or some kind of thing like that. Chutney is, I need chutney for my pulori or some kind of thing. Right? And you put that on a cap or a t-shirt, something like that.
Yeah.
The industry could unite over something like this. That could be the thing that brings it together. You understand? You can say, hey, everybody wearing this thing, so everybody could show that they're proud. And you're not only showing your friends or your people involved or associated in the industry or who are fans of Chutney music.
Right.
But you're showing everybody on the whole. If I get one of those t-shirts to wear, I will travel.
Yeah.
I will roll with that.
Yep.
Right? Because I have one of these as a t-shirt as well. I have a t-shirt that says, well, the soca.
Right.
And whenever I get a chance, I'll wear it because I like soca and I like Chutney too. So I want to be able to rep. That's what you call real repping. You represent.
No, I don't want people saying that I negative and I trying to be all on that side and trying to show the bad side. But it is what it is. Remember the artists, when you were directly involved in the industry, as I am now, the artists come up and tell me a lot of stuff and feel that they're just the only ones saying it, but it's like everybody's saying it. Everybody have some negative comment against one another. There's no positivity. There's always something happening again on the negative side. And I just, I get to a point now where I'm like, yeah, okay, I have something else to do. Yeah, no, I had to take a call. Oh, no, wait, no, I have some other important stuff to do.
So whatever you tell me that, I know like you want to listen to me again.
No, of course not. Of course, you definitely are the furthest away from that reality that I see on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the reasons, again, that we're doing this is so that we could bring certain things to the fore and we could try to help where we can.
Yeah.
So, we have invested in this show where, I'm going to get a different mic. I have to get a new camera. We invested in software to do all of this.
Yeah.
Right? So we are investing in our ways into literally the culture. So we need everybody to do that and not just wait for something to happen or wait for somebody else to do this, or wait somebody to say, all right, well, you want to go and record by the studio or wait for nothing. Get up and do something. Invest in yourself. If you know an artist who's struggling, help them out if you could, right? Either pay for them to get their song written or recorded or get a music video done. There are, a couple of people who are doing really good quality music videos now. So invest in those things and then you would not believe how far and how much reach you have given yourself with your music. Because last thing I want to say is this is the music business, right? Music business. This is not the music friends or the friends of music. No,
the music line.
They spend money on, maybe not, and put out a song, but it's the music business and you will be treated as such.
Right.
If you have a bad product, like if you go to buy coffee or chicken or food or something like that and you have a bad product, people are not going to buy it. Chicken, if you eat chicken, if you sell fries, if you sell rice, if you sell peas,
if you sell duck, or if you sell doubles.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Duck or nothing. Yeah?
Doubles
or nothing. Right? And yes, I use it.
What? The balloon boy?
Oh, balloon boy, the balloon.
Balloon out of nowhere, yes.
Out of nowhere.
Use David Copperfield. Huh? Wait, hold on. No, use not David Copperfield. You are Kes the Magician.
That's all. Yeah, so, let's invest in ourselves. Oh, another thing too. Check this out. This is a soca comic book. Right? It was created for a party, right? But yeah, look at that. Look at what this industry is doing.
Yeah.
Right? You have merch, you have things to sell, to show, to promote. Let's be proud of it. Let's do things that, we're proud of. Let's write and sing songs and produce songs and make songs and music that we're proud about. Make music videos that you're proud about. Make it into a story, because I've seen music videos where it's just the artist and they're just looking at the camera and just dancing and things and whatever. And to me, it wasn't entertaining. And I'm like, okay, am I supposed to? Is this video for me?
I am on top of the Eiffel Tower.
Or for who?
I am singing about the river down below. But you know what I think I need? 3 dancers in Indian outfits. Come here, dance now.
Yeah, it could be as easy as that. If you make it look good, well, no problem.
Relevance. You must have some kind of relevance.
If they could bring it into the story and make it a part of the story,
no problem.
You know, but let's have some vision with these things, you know. We really want you all to be involved in the show. We want you to, wherever you see this, we need you to put a comment on it, right? Because we're gonna have a comment of the week. But if we get more than one really good funny comment, we'll show you all and let you all know what that comment is as well.
Right.
And we could also we'll leave it as the comment of the week, right? So you place your comments wherever you see this show, wherever you see this clip, you could just comment on it, and it may have a chance of being put up in the show, and we will highlight you and big you up and take, right? Please, not the birthday greetings, no.
And
that
one
is not
thing
what we're talking about.
I'm calling my name, eh?
Yeah, call my name, eh? I want to pick up my dog Sparky and my neighbor Elsie.
Petty Iguana.
Yeah, and the petty iguana, look, where the next dog? Where is that? Who dog is this?
Very manipul. But we have to tell people, right? Something. I feel like every episode we'll have to tell people this.
What's that?
We are not doing this to please people. We are not doing this to address the society at large in the way that they've been addressed, in the way that you've been addressed in, prior years where everybody is like, yes, whatever you want. Yes, we will say what you want. We will do what you want. This podcast is a very different podcast. This is at a level where we feel that people, they need to hear certain things that haven't been said before. We will try as best as possible, as Richard said, to educate and inform and provide solutions and suggestions and say things that, again, that you may not want to hear in terms of the reality part of it in certain situations, but we ain't dumbing down nothing just to go back to where everything was in the years gone by. This is a different kind of podcast, so don't expect it to be all hunky-dory and all lovey-dovey and all whatever else you expect that, going into this that it was going to be. It's not going to be that. I don't know if you want to say anything else about it, Richard, but I think we just need to have that clear with people out there.
Yeah, because this is not a radio program. This is not a radio show.
It's not a program.
Super please anybody, but we're going to keep it as clean as possible because we want to include, we want to get kids involved, because who are we leaving this industry for? It cannot just be for you, right? You have to make way for the young ones and say, hey, what are we leaving for them, right? Now, when I say make way for the young ones, not to give up your space in the monarch and other things. I'm talking about you could create a space for yourself. Yeah. So whether you're a big adult now, you're a big grown man or woman, and you want to get into the chutney industry, go through hard, right? You might get some good advice here as well, hopefully. But if you're really young, you're a young person, we want to make sure that we give you information here that you could use to start and get your best foot forward into the industry. We're not going to have all the answers. We are just giving you our opinions as well as feedback that we receive from people in the industry, whether it be chutney, soca, or otherwise. So, we're just really here to help in our own way. We invested in this, and we want you to be invested in your own way as well. So, if you're an artist or somebody who has a product to, let people listen to and enjoy, or if you have a music video, share it with your friends. Ask them what they think about it. Then, if you are not an artist and you're just a fan, you just love the music, you love the industry, you love the culture, then you need to be a fan. Being a fan means putting a like on the person's post. It could be as simple as that. Leaving a nice comment. Let's not be hurtful and argumentative and say, hey, well, you're doing this and you're real dotish. And, let's try to avoid those things, because the kind of negative energy some people can't take it and they cannot handle it and they can't process it properly.
Too much
So we
negativity.
need to be considerate for everybody.
But you need to be real as well.
You could be real, but you could be constructively real.
Yeah, constructive. Yeah, definitely.
And if you have nothing good to say, don't say it.
Yeah.
Right? Because
For real.
if somebody gets 100 likes on their post, they might feel good. But then somebody who's accustomed getting 100 likes, when they realize you only get 10, something wrong.
But be real with the artists directly as well too. This has to be said that, you know, a lot of the artists in the industry, they might go around the corner, go by their little parlor, go by some friends, go by their family, and they get a nice little endorsement, and they feel, well, all right, well, that's all they need. I think, you know, you need to, like, sometimes, as Richard was saying, when you're criticizing, you have the constructive criticism. You tell the artists, if they're your friend, however they are related to you. You know, I think that you might want to try this approach. You've done this for a while. Maybe try this approach. Maybe change this. Maybe try it this way. See if it's, you know, a little better. Maybe the vocals might be in need of a little fixing, or maybe the production or whatever. You know, because a lot of what we do in Chutney is still very grassroots based. So, you know, we depend on the people around us to kind of give us that push and that guidance and that, you know, that approval, so to speak. So be real, and yes, you don't have to bash in that way. Be real and be as constructive with your criticisms as you can. So I think the industry will just start to benefit in the future, you know?
Right. Well, let's leave it there. That's the end.
Yep.
We talked plenty. Hope that you enjoyed it.
Was that a good enough ending?
Yes, that is a very good enough ending. Right. As the title that down there says, I don't know if you'll see it or not, but doubles or nothing. I am Richard D. Simo. That guy is
Big Daddy.
Right.
Big Daddy.